Hey, this is Jeff from Peking University. I'm currently here in Beijing on a bit of a whirlwind tour, and I thought I would talk about Luckin Coffee and why they don't need to beat Starbucks to win big in China. Back in a sec. Well, it's early Thursday morning. I'm heading out of Shanghai, going up to Beijing for just a quick trip, and then back again. Now, I thought for this video I'd talk about Luckin Coffee, which is this sort of new coffee slash new retail type of play that's launched up here, and they're getting a lot of press mainly because they're competing against Starbucks. But as you can see, pretty much everywhere you go, any great location like the Shanghai Rail, you're gonna see Starbucks in a good location. Now, I pretty much only take the train between Beijing and Shanghai and back and forth. The train's a couple hours longer, but it's always on time. So this is it's a nice thing. I do it all the time. So made it on the train, all is good. It is ridiculous how thick my passport has become over the years. And the logo is completely gone. It's like, I don't know how many page refills, like 4 or 5 at this point. They won't let me add any more pages. Okay, so arrived in Beijing, masked up for the pollution like always. Lines. So you can see behind me, here's a sort of basic Luckin Coffee. It's just pick up and delivery, no seating. You know, of their, it looks like it's about 660 outlets now. About half of them seem to be like this. Half of them are sit down. So my main point for this video is, look, to do incredibly well, they don't necessarily have to beat Starbucks. They can take Starbucks, which is a product plus the experience, it's both, and take it from a luxury product that very few people can really afford easily in China today and bring it down to the mass market. Typical price for a Starbucks here, 35, 40 renminbi, about the same as in New York and London. But the GDP per capita on average here is about 1/6 of that. So there's a huge addressable market. And the example you can point to is Xiaomi. Xiaomi did more or less the same thing with the iPhone and Apple. They took that item, the iPhone, and brought it down to more like 300, which was sort of the mass market iPhone. They got huge adoption, huge sales, huge growth. Now, unfortunately for them, Vivo and Oppo and some of these other companies did the same thing to them and brought it down even further. But that's basically the idea is, you know, that was mass market iPhone. Luckin could just do mass market retail coffee, mass market Starbucks. You know, the average Chinese, on average, drinks 3 to 4 cups of coffee per year overall in the aggregate. Europe's like 600, 700, the US is like 400. So there's a huge space you can move into if you can open it up. And opening it up, probably the most important thing you could do is price. And that's, I think, a good portion of what they're doing. So I'm on my way over to do an interview at CCTV, just coming up to the big building right now. Give it a look. I'm heading up to the south gate, and I'm gonna turn this off because the guards here are like really serious. Like, they don't joke, they don't smile. It's like a different type of guard here, so I'm gonna turn this off. So it's about 6:30 in the morning on Friday. I'm on my way back to the train station in Beijing, going back to Shanghai. A couple days there, then I do this again. All right, back on the next train. Leaves on time like always, which is pretty awesome. So I'll give you a look around. All set. Dunkin' Donuts cold brew, which is pretty good actually, surprisingly good. So I've just arrived at the CEBS, China Europe International Business School. I'm teaching a class here for just a couple days and then back to Beijing. If you haven't been here before, it's a really nice campus. It's got a famous designer, I don't remember who, maybe I'll figure it out by the time I post this. The other half of this question that I'm thinking about is, okay, if the first part is lowering price and will that increase demand and get more people drinking coffee and those who drink more. The other half is sort of what I think is their overall strategy of convenience and ubiquity. Lower price, digital tools, tons of locations. Those three things together. Yeah, they've lowered the price, that's a big deal. They're very good at digital. They're putting this on smartphones. They're reaching people that way. And third is they're putting locations just everywhere so that there's always one there. So if you have the slightest idea for having a cup of coffee, it's right there. And will that combination of three things spur demand? You know, if anything else, it's going to make it dramatically more convenient. It's always going to be there. And I think that's probably the other word here is convenience. So this word of convenience, I think, is very important because we can see this pattern play out a lot in digital China of increased convenience, releasing pent-up demand, and then low price helps. So Mobike, Ofo, these bike sharing companies, I think this was an example of this, that bikes weren't new. Everyone rides bikes, very common. What they did is by making it very convenient, putting it on the streets, you walk up, you click it, you jump on, you ride, you jump off. They just released all this demand because it turns out, you know, riding a bike was kind of a pain. You had to store it in your apartment or lock it up, take it out, take it home. It was just convenient. The demand really did increase when you did that play. And so the question here is, will that play out in coffee? This idea of lower price plus digital tools, tons of locations, you know, resulting in increased convenience and other things. Will that dramatically increase demand? And I think that's a good question. We'll see. All right, now I think I'm a little late for class. As I said, it's sort of the end of the semester, so it is pretty deserted. And it's also Sunday morning. And there's a typhoon coming in any time now, maybe in a couple hours. So, fun day. And that's basically my take on this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I'm out of here in a couple days, going down to Hong Kong, and then I'll be in Thailand for a couple weeks. So I'll put up a couple of videos from Thailand because I can fly my drone in Thailand. I'm not allowed in Beijing, so that's really fun. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. This is Jeff Towson, Peking University, currently in Beijing.